It was an incredibly powerful moment here at the White House. Let me just take a step aside, show you what we're looking at here, just so you can see this devastation at home. This area is a campsite here in Seneca County, popular campsite. Many people here overnight, some on vacation, and then those floodwaters hit earlier this morning. Yeah, Jenny, the question is, what are homeowners doing to try and fight back against this? And the answer is anything they can. I'm in the backyard of one home now, and you can see, even with the wind quieting down, the waves still a force here, shooting water over. Sandbags are in place, but really that has not been enough today to stop the force of these waves. You can just see how deep it gets, even after the waves have stopped crashing over onto the shoreline. Really, the devastation left behind is still evident here. Don, I'm standing just in front of that area of Route 5 where the boy was hit by that car last night, just feet away from his home. And you can see just across the street here, Max Drive-In, a very popular place here in Waterloo. Last night, customers and workers saw this happen and rushed over to help. Meanwhile, the family of that young victim says they worry this violence is just beginning. You can see there still is police tape up here on Carlton Street at the scene of that horrific crime. Take a look at it right now. This is where the island, is what neighbors are calling it, has finally settled here. We did reach out to the Coast Guard to try and get a better idea of exactly where it came from and how it got here. I actually want to show you what's going on behind me here. In just the past few minutes, crews have arrived and begun working on that grease trap. A very active scene here on Sherman Street. They have most of the road blocked off. Crews say it could take weeks to clean this up, and as fire investigators continue to search for a cause, the people who once lived here are now searching for a new place to call home. Lots of anticipation after this week-long trial in the courtroom today. You could feel that anticipation building in the moments leading up to the verdict. Now, neighbors 24 hours later still very shaken up by those events. Edgemere Drive in Greece, where I'm standing right now, is no stranger to these flooding events. It happened, like you said, 2 years ago. And again, just a few weeks ago, the homeowner who lives here says she's still cleaning up from the floodwaters. And finally, just a few minutes ago, the skies opened up here in Pittsford, really letting the rain out, helping to cool things off, which is why we ran inside quickly. But even in here at Pittsford Dairy Farms, you can see they've been busy all day serving ice cream, helping to keep people cool. But there's others who are forced to be outside, and workers tell me the trick to beating the heat is knowing when to stay hydrated and take a seat. It is a beautiful night for a swim here, but experts say you have to be careful. If you take your eye off your child for even a minute, it can mean the difference between life and death. Voters here are telling me they are sad, upset, and disappointed, but they also say we have to be patient and let the legal process run its course. This is the busiest time of the year here at South Point Marina. Over the next few days, many boats will be going in and out of the bay. Just take a look behind me. I can show you how it looks on the beach right now. In the past few minutes, just since I've been standing here, I've seen the water get closer and closer. It's hard to believe, but where I'm standing right now was under nearly 4 feet of water earlier today. Take a look behind me here, and you can see this water from the bay already coming up onto the road. I'm told just days ago, none of it was past the dock up here, but really that rising water already making its impact felt here. The thing that made this especially difficult for those crews here was the wind. Every time they thought they had this fire under control, the wind would pick back up, fan those flames. Since that couple left on Tuesday, there have been not one but 2 fires here on Monroe Avenue. I spoke to one student who says he wasn't sure he'd be able to graduate, and then this program came along and helped him stay on track. I spoke with the police chief here, who says they are working tirelessly to patrol that area near the middle school. The message here today was loud and clear. We will not stand for this. We will not tolerate this. And I'm told that those tests occur about once a month for drivers here at the East Irondequoit Transportation Center. Now, Hollins was selected for his yesterday morning after he had already driven some students to school. We all know what it's like when you head to the thruway now, right? You go up to something like this, you grab a ticket, and when you get off, you pay the fee. The best thing we can expect from this is a huge economic boost to the local economy, where he says they are remembering those lives lost. He joins us now with the very latest. Dan? Well, an early morning car crash sends one car veering off the road directly into a family swing set. Just inches away, young children asleep in their room. At this hour, police are still looking for the driver. The trip was to celebrate the recent high school graduation of the family's oldest daughter. It's something they had been planning all year, but this was something they never saw coming. 17.2 million calls. That's how many were made to the 585 area code last month alone. That breaks down to over 50 calls per single phone in this area.
Barbecue at Doug's?
Yeah.
Am I cooking?
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah. And I'll do nothing but enjoy the food. Hey, we're going to go to the library for a field trip.
Yeah.
Ah, that's the field trip?
Yeah.
Now I'd be like, let's go. What do I do now? Oh! What does that mean? I saw my life flash before my eyes in that moment. I tried to see if they'd let me join the band, but I have no musical ability. So instead, I'm going to let these guys perform.
Not complaining.
Actually, I will complain a little.
Not complaining.
Yeah, it's a little humid out there.
No,
I appreciate your honesty. It's why we're friends.
Just being honest.
Looking dapper, I gotta say. Maybe I'll lose the tie too. You look great. All right, we'll see. I'll give you some fashion tips in the commercial break.
We gotta go back to this. We gotta take another look as our own Andrew Banas out there wearing a Bananas shirt, throwing this. We'll give him the strike. I was gonna say we'll give him the strike on that, but he having quite the day at Frontier Field.
I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say. It was so much fun. Have a good evening. We'll see you all tomorrow. That's okay. I'm cool with it. I'm just happy to be here still, Don. Madeline Plummer keeps replaying it in her mind.
We heard this pop, 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 pop.
The haunting moment when someone shot and killed a couple at their home across the street from hers Monday afternoon. Police say the gunman fatally shot Joshua Niles. Amber Washburn was shot as she tried to escape.
I saw her car backing up.
Plummer says the gunman shot into the car, killing Washburn.
And I said, oh my God. I said, she's leaning over to the right.
After the shooter ran off, Plummer says she realized Washburn's young son was in the back seat reaching for the window.
I kept seeing the car coming in our driveway and that little hand.
Ashley Soanes is mourning the loss of her friends today.
It's heartbreaking. She should still be living her life and raising her kid.
She says Washburn was a proud mom that would do anything to protect her son. She believes Washburn died trying to save him.
She was a hero. She saved her little boy's life.
Now Soanes, like so many others, is left with grief and questions.
Why? Like, why her? Why did this happen? It just doesn't make any sense.
Jessica Correa returned today to see what was left of the place she called home for 11 years.
It's still unbelievable standing here looking at it. This is where we were just at, you know?
On Monday, her apartment building at 440 Thurston Road was destroyed by fire. It's where she lived with her mom and young son.
I mean, it's heartbreaking. This is what we have left after all the years. 12
people lived in the building. The Red Cross has stepped up to help the tenants like Correa. She's thankful, but says there is still uncertainty about what's next for her family.
This is what we called home. This is it.
We spoke with the president of the company that managed the building, who said, quote, our thoughts and prayers go out to the individuals who were injured in the fire, and we pray for their speedy recovery.
I'm just taking it one day at a time.
Lonnie McDowell says he has not heard from the owner of the building since the fire. He recalls a narrow escape when the blaze started.
The best decision I made was to hit that fire escape and get out of there.
Now, he and his children are staying with family. He lost all of the presents he had for his kids and isn't sure what he's going to do next. But for now, he's just happy he's still around.
One of the best things I could do was hug my kids.
Andrew Palladino was on his way home from work, looking forward to a relaxing evening, except
never made it.
Whiteout conditions making visibility nearly impossible on the thruway. Palladino caught in the middle of it.
The truck in front of me went to the right. I went to the left, and I hit the back end of a semi, and I was stunned then.
Realizing the drivers behind him likely couldn't see either, he knew he had to act quickly. Instead of getting out of the vehicle, Palladino laid down across his passenger seat.
I'm sitting there. I said, I know I'm going to get hit. So I kind of braced for it, but you never can brace for somebody hitting you with a vehicle at that rate of speed. An SUV hit me from behind, and I mean, it just popped my hearing aids off, and things were flying. My door flew open.
He decided then it was time to get out. He jumped out of his car and ran to the side of the road. He wasn't hurt, but his car was crushed.
We knew in advance we had a huge
field going in.
Leroy Fire Chief Thomas Wood responded to the scene.
Looking across the road, you got all the people that are out of their vehicles just milling around. You got the wind blowing. You've got a trooper running around trying to assess stuff.
Wood and his crew jumped into action, helping people stranded, including Palladino, a longtime football coach for Leroy High School. Palladino coached both Wood and years later, Wood's son. Today, he's crediting those first responders for their help getting him home.
I was never so relieved to get home, walk through, give my wife a hug.